If you take a visit to your local theme park, I guarantee you that everything is going to seem very expensive. Like, come on. $7 for a bottle of water? Yeah, you guys know what I mean. But believe it or not, there is a legit reason why theme parks have to charge so much. So why on earth does everything have to be so expensive at theme parks? Well, let's find out. Well, it's no secret that theme parks are expensive. There are actually multiple reasons why everything at theme parks costs so much. Starting with the various attractions at these various parks. Theme parks have to maintain these attractions. Big shocker, right? There is a lot of maintenance and work that involve keeping these attractions well maintained and safe for daily operation. Parks have to replace old and worn out parts in the trains, the track, the sensors, the computers, etc. And you guessed it, these parts are not cheap, especially if they are older or no longer produced by the manufacturer. This is especially prevalent with older coasters, especially those built by Aerodynamics, or any other older manufacturer. And I honestly really feel like these older coasters and the cost of just maintaining them, they're really starting to weigh down these parks. And honestly, I really feel like that's led to the decline of the Aero Looper. Honestly, they're just disappearing these days. So make sure to check out that video when it drops next week. But parks have to factor in all these costs into their ticket, merchandise, and food prices. And all of that maintenance doesn't even include paying the actual people who actually maintain the rides. Which brings me to my next reason on why theme parks are so expensive. The workers. You have to pay people. Another big shocker right there. But theme parks need a lot of people to operate well and consistently. You need maintenance workers, janitors, managers, ride ops, people who work in the food service, the restaurants, the list goes on and on. In fact, in 2023, Cedar Fair across all of their parks had a total of over 44,000 employees. That is a lot of people to pay across a lot of parks. So parks have to factor in that cost with all their employees into their tickets. Which unfortunately means that you and I have to pay more to get into these theme parks. Okay, so these first two reasons have been kind of obvious. You gotta pay people and you gotta maintain the rides. But we still have a couple of reasons, and they're just factors that makes theme parks so expensive. And that includes the food. When you visit your local theme park, food is gonna cost a whole lot of money. Like, I've seen prices as high for $20 for chicken fingers. Those can't take more than $5 to make. But there are actually a couple of reasons why theme parks have to charge so much. And there are like a couple of layers to this, so I'm going to try to do my best to explain it simply. So, you have your production costs. That's how much money it actually takes to make the food. So you have to factor that in to your cost when you're pricing the product. And then you have your overhead costs, which is the cost for like the packaging, the building, and all of those utilities and all that type of stuff. And then you have to actually pay the workers. So that also cuts into the cost and makes it more expensive to produce overall. Not to mention the equipment that the park has to maintain. But if a restaurant is name brand in a theme park, it's going to cost even more. Well, when you heard that, you're probably like, well, why would it cost more? It's just the same 3 levels. But there's actually 2 additional levels. One of those additional levels is the money that the independent business actually operating the restaurant inside the park wants to take for their profit. So there's an extra cut in there that's not just being taken by the theme park, which could result in them wanting to make their food more expensive. But outside restaurants also have to pay the theme parks a lot of money to actually be inside those theme parks. So let's say you are an independent restaurant trying to get a spot in Kings Island. Sure, they'll give you the spot and they'll cover most of the utilities and stuff, but Kings Island is going to take a huge cut of the money that you make. So you're going to have to increase your prices to still take your cut of the profit. And then with the other 3 levels, the food costs, the production costs, the employees, and inflation even, your food prices really start to get up there. And it's not fun. But when you really look at all the factors that they have to put into the cost of a product, and the making of it, and the cut that the theme parks take, I kid you not, they probably could be charging even more money than they already are. But wait a minute, a lot of theme parks operate their own restaurants. So that means that the operators of those, they don't have to take their own cut. And you will be 100% correct in stating this. But theme parks are smart. They know that if those name brand restaurants can charge $20 for chicken fingers, why can't they? Yeah, sure, that name brand restaurant, they have to take their own cut of money and are trying to make money themselves too. But if a theme park is operating their own restaurant, there's not that extra cut being taken. So what theme parks do is they make their costs consistent with that name brand restaurant. And theme parks are honestly not making too much when they buy from that name brand restaurant. But when they buy from their own restaurant and pay the exact same price, but there's not that extra cut in there, theme parks can make a lot of money. So let's say their cut for the name brand restaurant is like $2 to $3 per sale. And that restaurant gets $2 to $3 in profit. But if a theme park operates their own restaurant, instead of splitting the $6 two ways, they get to keep all $6 of those dollars. And that's how theme parks can make so much money. Now, from a guest standpoint, that sounds terrible. Why would I be paying more when they can really be charging less? And that is a fair statement. They probably shouldn't be charging the same price as the competition because they really don't need to. But theme parks are businesses, and the real reason why they do this is simply because they can. When you visit a theme park, you kind of expect food to be expensive, and theme parks know that you expect that. So when you go to buy food, and you see the same price pretty much across the board, you're honestly just okay with it, because that's simply the industry standard. Why would anyone buy such expensive theme park food? And the real reason is that it's convenient and super easy. Why would you want to go out to a restaurant, leave the park? I mean, sure, you'd save some money, but that's a huge hassle and you lose time in the park. For a lot of people, it's just so much easier to buy the expensive food. And if you buy it from the park, they make a lot of money. Like, a lot of money. And since you don't really want to leave the park, they just put huge markups on literally everything, and that's how you get like $7 water. And theme parks can get away with this because they know you and I do not want to leave the park like that. So how can you save money and avoid these super high prices? Well, I'm going to say that for a separate video coming out Monday. So make sure to hit the subscribe button so you do not miss that super important and helpful video. So honestly, that's a wrap on why theme parks are so expensive. And there are just so many layers that make stuff so expensive. And the only reason theme parks charge so much is because they can. Because no one wants to go through the hassle of leaving a park and coming back. And you're kind of trapped to just buy the expensive item. Okay, if you enjoyed the video, then give it a like. If you want to see more content like this, then hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.